Of Bhagavad Gita. Disclaimer, my first time reading this. This reading is my first orientation to it, so there may be plenty of mispronunciations. We're beginning with chapter 6. This is Danya Yoga. Sri Bhagavan said, a true yogi or a true renunciant is one who performs his duties, renouncing attachment to results, and not one who abandons work in the sacrificial fire. To become a yogi, work without attachment is recommended. Only for an elevated yogi, giving up work is recommended. O son of Pandu, yoga cannot be separated from renunciation because to become a yogi, one must renounce all desires. Work without desires, without sense gratification, and without any attachment to results leads to an attainment of yoga. The mind can act as a friend to elevate oneself, or it can also work like an enemy to degrade oneself. When the mind is conquered, it becomes a friend. Left unconquered, it is an enemy. For a conquered mind, joy, sorrow, heat, cold, pain, pleasure are all the same. Such a yogi attains peace and realization of the Supreme Soul. A self-realized yogi steeped in transcendental knowledge and controlled senses sees stone, mud, and gold as equal. An advanced yogi sees a friend and an enemy equally and is impartial to all, be it saint or sinner. A yogi should live in seclusion, be free from material desires and possessions, regulate the mind, and meditate on the Supreme. The yogi should practice in a clean and secluded place on a seat made of kushu grass, covered by deerskin, and a cloth over it. The asana should neither be too low nor too high. Seated on this asana, he should begin the practice of purifying the heart by controlling his thoughts and by single point meditation. He sits straight with his head, neck, and back aligned in a straight line with his gaze steadily concentrated on the tip of the nose. The yogi meditates on me with a serene, fearless mind, and on a vow of celibacy, holding me as his supreme goal of life. With a disciplined mind and body and totally absorbed in me, the yogi transcends material existence to reach the spiritual kingdom. O Arjuna, those who eat or sleep too much or too little cannot be successful in yoga. Balanced eating, sleeping, working, and recreation is necessary for yoga practice to overcome all difficulties in life. He is a successful yogi who withdraws his mind from desires and focuses only on transcendental. The unwavering mind of a yogi is like an unflickering lamp in a windless place. On attaining perfection, the yogi sees the soul through the purified mind and experiences inner joy. In this joyous state of pure bliss and samadhi, which is beyond comprehension of the senses, he never wavers from the path. Once he attains the state of samadhi, he knows there is nothing greater left to achieve. He is not perturbed by anything, come what may. He is free of all miseries. This state is achieved only by practicing yoga with determination and optimism. From controlling the mind and senses from all sides to relinquishing all cravings, the practice of yoga needs steadfast determination without any deviation. He progresses step by step to make the mind still, the intelligence being absorbed in a trance and the mind situated in self. The unsteady mind may wander again and again here and there, but the yogi always pulls it back to the focus on God and keeps it under control. In return, yogi experiences ultimate bliss when his mind is still, his passions are under control, and he is free of sinful reactions. The yogi practices free him from material contamination. Some of the comments have a great sense of humor about them. The yogi practices free him from material contamination. By connecting with God, he reaches ultimate happiness. The yogi sees all beings existing in me, and he sees me existing in all beings. He sees all with equal vision. A yogi who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me never loses me, nor do I lose him. A yogi who worships me, knowing me to be the super soul within all living beings, lives in me always. O Arjuna, the perfect yogi responds to the pains and pleasures of others as though it were his own. Arjuna said, O Madhu-san, given that the mind is restless and unwavering, this practice of yoga is highly unrealistic and impossible to do. O Krishna, it is far simpler to control the wind than the mind, which is stubborn, wavering, and dominating and agitated. Sri Bhagavan rightly said, O mighty armed Arjuna, the restless mind is indeed difficult to control, but it can surely be done by practice and detachment. I'm an omnist, so we're going to be reading a series of all holy scripture that the world has to offer, in addition to playing with my dogs. We'll be playing with her later. Like and subscribe if you want to see that. Yoga is difficult for one with whose mind is out of control, but in my opinion, once the mind is controlled, yoga can be perfected. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what happens to the yogi who begins in good faith but falters in between because of worldly desires and goes off on the path? Lost from his original path, it is he who is not like a wandering cloud, with neither material success nor spiritual success, O mighty armed Krishna. On birth, once again, he takes up a yogic life and strives for spiritual perfection by reawakening the consciousness of his previous life. In this life, he acquires a spontaneous attraction for God. On the strength of a past practice, he can transcend and rise above the Vedic ritualistic practice. By renewing his effort and controlling the mind, he makes further progress. After many births of practice, he becomes free of material desires and achieves his supreme goal. O Arjuna, be a yogi because he is better than all three, the ascetic, the jnani, and the ritualistic materialist. Ritualistic materialist. That yogi is best who imposes full faith in me, worships me in his full devotion, and most intimately united with me. Whatever we believe, there is a source of enlightenment in these spiritual scriptures, and it's a great thing to connect with. Vijnana Yoga, Chapter 7. Sri Bhagavan said, Now listen, Arjuna, to how you can know me completely, it is only by practicing yoga. By fixing your mind on me and taking shelter in me, you will know me without any doubts. I give you now both knowledge and realization, after which you will know everything there is to know. Only one out of 1,000 of men strive for perfection. Even amongst those who have attained perfection, hardly a soul understands me in essence. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intellect, and ego are 8 of my material energies. O mighty armed Arjuna, these are my inferior energies, whereas my superior energy, comprising souls, maintain the universe. Those 2 energies, the material and the spiritual, are the source of origin of all living things, and I am both the creator and the destroyer of the entire world. Nothing is higher than me, O Arjuna. Dhananjaya. Like a string that holds pearls. Like a string that holds pearls, I hold everything together. I am in the taste of water, the brilliance of the sun, and the moon. Mantra Om of the Vedic mantras, and the sound of the ether, and the ability in man. I am the aroma of the earth, and the warmth of the fire, the life of all that is living, and penance of the ascetics. The original seed of the entire existence, wisdom of the intelligent, and the mighty, O mighty, that's me, O Partha. I give strength to the strong, bereft of desire and attachment. I am love aligned with injunctions of scripture, O Arjuna. The 3 modes of material existence, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are manifestations of my energy alone. Though they be in me, I am beyond them. Influenced by the 3 modes of nature, none can understand me, that I am eternal and unaffected by gunas. Maya, my divine energy comprising the 3 gunas, is difficult to overcome, but certainly not difficult for those who surrender to me. Those who do not surrender to me are grossly foolish, the lowest rung of mankind, covered by illusion and aesthetic demoniacs. Demoniacs. It's an interesting word, demoniacs. It's like maniac, demon combined. Mani's like manic. Wow. O Arjuna, 4 kinds of pious men surrender to me. Those in distress, those seeking wealth, and those out of curiosity, and those desiring to know the absolute truth. Out of these, the one in knowledge and engaged in my devotional service is the best, who loves me and is dear to me. All those who come to me are in no doubt noble souls, but one who is self-realized, meditating upon me, will find me the highest of all goals. After many bursts of self-realization, a person eventually surrenders to me, knowing me to be the cause of everything. Such a soul is very rare indeed. Carried away by material desires, some souls surrender to devatas, following rituals of worship as per their gunas. If one desires to worship any particular devata, I myself give him steady faith to do so sincerely. With that faith, he worships and fulfills his desires through devatas only because I have arranged for it. But worshipping devatas is not a sign of intelligence, because those results are temporary. Those who worship devatas reach the devatas. Those who worship me reach me. Let's quickly look up what devatas are. Devatas are smaller and more focused devas in Indian religions such as Hinduism and Buddhism. The term devata itself can also mean deva. They can be either male or female. Every human activity has its devatas, its spiritual counterpart or aspects. So essentially, gods and goddesses. And there appear to be 33 devatas, 8 Vasu, 11 Rudras, 1 Indra, 12 Adityas. Okay. With that faith, he worships and fulfills his desires through devatas, only because I have arranged for it. But worshipping devatas is not a sign of intelligence because those results are temporary. Those who worship devatas reach the devatas. Those who worship me reach me. The ignorant think of me as formless. To have become embodied now, only the intelligent know me as eternal and supreme. I am invisible, covered by the illusory energy. Like illusionary, but illusory. The foolish and the unintelligent never realize that I am unborn and imperishable. I know everything, not only about present, but also about the past and future. O Arjuna, I know about all the living beings, but no one knows about me. O descendant of Bharata, all living beings are deluded by the dualities of desires and aversions. They are born as such, O Paratampa. A pious life in the past and a pious life in the present can free them from delusions of duality, after which they worship and serve me in great determination. Those with intelligence aspire for liberation from old age and death, taking shelter in me because they have knowledge of both transcendental and material activities. Even at the time of death, they know me as Adhivam, and Adiyagam, the principal force behind the material creation, the devatas, and all sacrifices. Chapter 8, Skara Brahma Yoga. O Arjuna, O Pardesadan, please explain to me what is Brahman, and what is Adayata, what is Karma, and what is Adibhutam, and what is Adivayam. Also, who is Adi Yaga, and how is he situated in the body? How does one serving you know you are at the time of death? Sri Bhagavan said, Brahman is the supreme, indestructible, and transcendental living entity. The material nature of living entity is called Adiyata. Karma is the fruitive action that results in the material body of living beings. Adibhuta is the material nature of the constant flux. Adiva is the universal form of the Lord that includes all devatas. And I situated in every heart, the Lord of all sacrifices, am called Adiyaga. Those who remember me alone at the time of their death attain me without doubt. O son of Kunti, whatever one is absorbed in at the time of death is the state one attains in the next life. So keep me always in your thoughts, and yet carry on with your duty of fighting. With your mind and intelligence absorbed in me and surrendered to me, you will reach me certainly. By practicing to constantly fix your thoughts on me and by remaining devoted to me, you will surely come to me. God is omniscient, the oldest, the controller, smaller than an atom, and sustainer of everything, inconceivable, transcendental in personality, effulgent as the sun and driving away all the darkness. By practice of yoga, if one can fix the life air between eyebrows and meditate on God without deviating at the time of death, he will surely attain me. O Partha, for true yogi who is absorbed in me and remembers me uninterrupted, I am easily available. These great souls who achieve me gets freedom from the cycle of birth and death and never return to the material world, which is a place of misery. They experience ultimate bliss or perfection. I don't find this world to be a place of misery. I hope you don't either. O Arjuna's rebirth is a reality for those in the highest planet, Brahmaloka. To the lowest planet in the material world, only when you reach my spiritual abodes you never take birth again. As per human timelines, a day of Lord Brahma comprises 1,000 yugas, and his night comprises another 1,000 yugas. all living beings come into existence during Lord Brahma's day, and they all dissolve into non-existence with the arrival of his night. With the advent of every day and every night of Brahma, the living beings are repeatedly manifested and destroyed, O Partha. Beyond this creation and destruction is another superior and higher world that never ceases to exist all through this. I will answer all relevant questions as they come. Beyond this creation and destruction is another superior and higher world that never ceases to exist all through this. That other world is infallible. Supreme destination by supreme abode. From that here, one never returns to the material world. The greatest personality, the Supreme Lord, is only attained through pure devotion. He is all-pervading, and everything is situated in him. Now I will explain how the time of death determines whether the yogi achieves liberation or is reborn. One who knows the Brahman passes away during the sun's northern course, the bright fortnight of the moon, and in the presence of Agni, at the auspicious moment of the bright part of the day, reaching Brahmans as his destination. The ritualistic who pass away during the sun's southern course, the dark fortnight of the moon. The time of smoke, the night attain the moon planet, for a certain period of enjoyment and return. Vedas describe two paths of leaving the world, the path of light and the path of darkness. On the path of light, one does not return. On the path of darkness, one returns. Knowledge of these paths clears all confusion, O Arjuna. Therefore, be fixed in yoga always, and a yogi always performs devotional service, transcends the fruits of Vedic study, austerities, sacrifices, charity, and piety. He attains my supreme eternal abode. Chapter 9. Raja, Vidya, Rajaguya, and Yoga. I know a dog named Raja. I had originally named him Roger, his litter mate name. And when he found his way to his humans, his people, his name was changed to Raja. The entire cosmic world is perfused by my invisible force. The living beings are dependent on me while I am independent of them. But not necessarily the living beings live in me. This is the wonder of my mystical powers. I, the creator and maintainer of everything, cannot be influenced by anything material. All living beings are found in me, just as the mighty wind blows all over is always found in the sky. Every material being enters in me at the end of every cycle of kalpa, or millennium. O Kantua, I send them back again at the beginning of the next cycle of kalpa. Interesting. So cycles begin with millenniums. Kalpa is the word for millenniums. And that's when you're lined up for your next reincarnation. Interesting. Like some people say, like Secretariat is a once in every 100-year kind of horse. I alone rule the material energy, and by my will, I create and destroy material forms as per their nature. My actions are not binding. O Darjana, Dhananjaya, I am only an observer, indifferent and detached. O Kantiya, it is only by my direction that this material world of animate and inanimate objects is a constant flux of creation, maintenance, and destruction. They are fools who do not see my divinity when I descend in human form. They do not know that I am the supreme Lord of all that exists. Some people say if Jesus were to be like reincarnated today, people would hang him again. Or crucify him again. They come under the spell of a material energy, embracing demonic and atheistic beliefs. Alas, all their hope for liberation, their fruit of action, and their knowledge are of total waste. But those who are Mahamatas surrender to the divine energy and accept me as a singular source of all existence. They remain absorbed in me with mind and intelligence. In such absorption, they sing my glories constantly with steadfast devotion. They only desire to worship me. Some others worship me by cultivating knowledge. They may either think of me as one of them, or separate from them, or believe in my cosmic form. I am the Vedic ritual, the sacrifice and oblation, the medicinal herb, the transcendental mantra, and the ghee, the sacrificial fire. I am the act of offering itself. I represent the father, the mother, the grandfather, and the maintainer of this universe. I am the knowledge of the purifier, the mantra Om, and I am the Vedas, Sama, and Yujar. I am the goal, supporter, master, witness, abode, shelter, well-wisher, creation, destruction, maintenance, and the reservoir of the eternal seed. O Arjuna, heat and rain, immortality and death, matter and spirit, all in my power. The pious, who perform Vedic rituals and drink of the nectar of Soma, seek heavenly planets of the king Indra. They enjoy pleasures and enjoyed by devatas having done pious activities. When they exhaust their piety, they return to the planet of mortals. The Vedic rituals can give you only so much of the fleeting pleasures, followed by the entanglement and cycle of life and death again. But those who worship me and meditate exclusively on me, I fulfill what they need and preserve what they already have. O Kantua, when one worships any other devata, he is in fact worshiping me indirectly but incorrectly. Those who do not understand that I am the real enjoyer and the supreme lord of each and every sacrifice, they fall down and remain in the cycle of life and death. Those worshipping devatas will be born amongst devatas. Those worshipping ancestors reach the ancestors. Those worshipping ghosts live amongst ghosts. Those worshipping me attain me. I accept an offering of a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water. It is offered with love and devotion. Everything that you do, everything that you eat, everything you offer, everything you give in charity, every austerity that you can perform, do it as an offering to me, O son of Kunti. By doing so, you will be free from good and bad effects of karmic bondage. By being absorbed in me, you break free from the effects of your actions and reach me. I am impartial. I like or dislike no one, but one who worships me faithfully is my friend, and I am his friend. So you see here, being free of karma is actually what this book tells you to strive for, whereas karma seems to be a dictating force for many people. Even a sinner can be considered saintly if he worships me because he is on the right path. He will soon become virtuous and will be at peace. O Kantuya, state this boldly to the whole world that my devotee never perishes. All those who seek my protection attain the supreme goal, O Partha, irrespective of their gender, caste, or qualities. The Brahmanas, kings, and devotees are thus more predisposed to worshiping me in this temporary and joyless world. Always think of me, be devoted to me, offer obeisance, and worship me always. Showing such devotion, you will surely reach me. Chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga. Listen, O mighty armed Arjuna, to my ultimate advice, because you are so dear to me. I give you this advice for your own good, Sri Bhagavan said. Both devatas and great rishis have no knowledge about my origin. In fact, I am the source of their origin. Only he who is free of illusions knows me as unborn, without a beginning, and as a supreme lord of the universe. He is then at once freed from all sins. I am the source of all qualities seen in humans: intelligence, knowledge, clarity of thought, forgiveness, truthfulness, sense control, mind control, joy, sorrow, birth, death, fear, valor, nonviolence, equanimity, contentment, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. The seven great sages, preceded by the four Kumuras and the Manu, from whom all creators have originated, took birth from my mind. There is no doubt that those who know me by my extraordinary powers and opulence unite with me by the yoga of devotion. Everything material and spiritual originates from me. I am the source of everything. The wise who are aware of this worship me wholeheartedly. My devotees fix their mind and consciousness in me and surrender their life to me. Their only satisfaction lies in constantly discussing about me and enlightening each other, because they are constantly worshiping me in love and with love and are so devoted to me. I give them knowledge by which they can return to me. I care for them so much that I enter their hearts to destroy their ignorance, just like the bright lamp of knowledge destroys darkness. Arjuna said, I hail the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Abode, the Supreme Purifier, and the Eternal Truth, the Primal Being, the Unborn, the Omnipresent, the exalted sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, except this now you yourself have confirmed this. I accept your words as the ultimate truth, O Keshava. Devatas and the demons can never understand your divine presence. Divine personality. O Supreme Being, Lord of all beings, Lord of the universe, Lord of Devatas, only you can show yourself by your inconceivable potency. Please narrate and enlighten me about your divine opulences by which you manifest and pervade the entire planetary system. How many I know you and keep you in my thoughts? How may I know you and keep you in my thoughts? In which form can I meditate on you? Please tell me, O Bhagavan, Supreme Master. O Janarda, tell me every detail of your majestic power and opulences. I can go on and on, hearing the nectarine stream of your words. Sri Bhagavan said, O best of Kurus, I certainly explained to you some exemplary aspects of my manifestation, because there is no need to my infinite opulence. Excuse me, there's no end to my infinite opulence. O Gudakesha, I am situated in the heart of every living entity as the self. I am beginning, the middle, and the end of all living beings. Amongst the Adiyatas, I am the Vishnu. Amongst illuminaries, I am the sun. I am Mirachi amongst merits, and the moon amongst heavenly bodies. I am Sam Vedas amongst the Vedas. I am Indra amongst the Devatas. Amongst the senses, I am the mind, and amongst all living beings, I am the consciousness. Amongst Rudras, I am Shankar. Amongst the Rakshasas, I am Kuber. Amongst Vasus, I am Agni, and amongst mountains, I am Maru. O Partha of priests, I am Brishpati of military chiefs, I am Skanda, and of water bodies, I am Ocean. Amongst exalted sages, I am Bringhu. Amongst sound vibrations, I am the transcendental sound Om. I am Japa amongst all sacrifices, and I am Himalaya amongst the immovables. I am Banyan amongst trees. I am Narada amongst the celestial sages. Amongst Gandharvas, I am Chitrada. I am amongst perfect beings, and I am Kapila. Amongst horses, I am Ukahashrava, born from the nectar of immortality while churning the ocean. Amongst elephants, I am Aravata. Amongst men, I am king. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all creation. O Arjuna, I am the spiritual science of self amongst knowledge, and the concluding truth of every argument. Amongst alphabets, I am letter A. Of compound worlds, I am dual word. I am eternal time, and I am the creator Brahma. I am this all-destructive death. I am the origin of all things yet to be in the future. In women, I am fame and prosperity, speech, memory, and intelligence, courage, and patience. Amongst hymns, I am Brahma Sama. Amongst mantras, I am Gayatri. Amongst months, I am Marga Shirsha. That's November and December. And amongst seasons, I am the blossom of spring. Amongst cheaters, I am a gambler. I am the energy of energetic. I am victory, effort, and goodness of virtuous. I am Vasudeva amongst Vishnu, and Arjuna amongst Pandavas. Amongst sages, I am Vyasa, and amongst poets, I am Ushana. I am the nod that punishes. I am mortality and victory. Of secrets, I am silence, and of wise, I am wisdom. I am the seed of all that exists. O Arjuna, there is nothing moving or non-moving that can exist in my absence. O Paratapa, this is not the end of my divine manifestations. It is only a speck of the infinite opulence. Whatever you see to be beautiful, powerful, and extraordinary around you, all of it originates from my stupendous power. O Arjuna, what is the need to know all this? Suffice it to know that just a fragment of me can pervade and sustain the entire cosmos. Vishavarupa Darshan Yoga. Arjuna said, because of their kindness, I have heard your words on the supremely confidential knowledge, and now I have no illusion whatsoever. You have discussed the appearance and disappearance of living beings at length, as well as your magnificent glories, O lotus-eyed one. I see your form, the one you speak of, O Supreme Lord, but I desire to see that form which pervades cosmos, O greatest of all. Show me your cosmic form, O Lord, if you think I am capable of beholding it. Sri Bhagavan said, O Partha, here are my numerous forms in hundreds and thousands, all multicolored and multi-shaped. See the Adityas, the Vasus, the Rudra, the Ashvinis, the Maruts, and the Devatas. No one must have ever heard or seen any of this before. O Gada Kesha, see the entire universe, everything moving and non-moving in me. You can see whatever your heart desires from the present or the future. Oh, but your material eyes cannot see my cosmic form. To see my grand opulence, I will give you my special vision. Sanjaya said, O King, the Supreme Lord, the Lord of all yoga, then flashed his divine and opulent form to Arjuna. Arjuna saw in the cosmic form many wonderful faces, eyes, ornaments, weapons, and garments. It was anointed within divine fragrances and wearing heavenly garlands. The form was awe-inspiring, majestic, and infinite. The cosmic form was so dazzling that it could outshine thousands of blazing suns. Arjuna, the son of Pandu, sighted the entire universe held together in one place within God. Captivated by what he saw, Arjuna had goosebumps all over. He folded his palms and bowed down his head in veneration. Arjuna said, O Lord, within your body I see an assembly of celestial beings. I see Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva seated on the lotus flower, as well as sages and celestial serpents. I see innumerable arms, bellies, and mouths and eyes in this expansive form. O Vishveshvara, there is no beginning, no middle, and no end to it. Though difficult to see your form, blinded by your fiery and radiating halo, I see you with crowns, holding clubs and discs. You are infallible, the supreme object of knowledge, maintainer of eternal dharma, and in my opinion, the supreme transcendental personality. You are unlimited, with no beginning, no middle, no end. You, with arms infinite, the sun and the moon are your eyes, and fire blazes from your mouth that warms the entire universe. O Great One, you pervade the space between the planets, and the three worlds tremble in fear on beholding your wondrous and terrible form. With folded hands, a stream of devatas entering your cosmic form surrender onto you, praying for peace. Sages and sadhus chant hymns praising you. The Rudras, Adityas, Vasus, Sadyas, Vishvadas, Asvinis, Maruts, ancestors, Gadharvas, Yaksha, Asuras, and Siddhas are all stunned from your form. The whole world is cowering in fear at the sight of your terrible form of multiple mouths, faces, eyes, ears, arms, bellies, thighs, feet, and the fearsome teeth. And so am I, O mighty armed one. I have lost my composure and peace of mind as I tremble with fear, beholding your fiery form touching the sky, your gruesome mouth and raging large eyes. Fearing from all directions, I have lost my mental equilibrium. Your deathly faces and hideous teeth that spew fire give me no comfort. O Lord of all lords, you are the abode of the universe. Please have mercy on me. I see the sons of Dhritarashtra Shatra and their supporting kings with Bhishma, Drona, Karma, and also we're reading Bhagavad Gita. And what is he talking about? It just seems to be an everlasting praise in all forms, much like we see in other holy scripture. Seems to be the same presence, just more descriptive. I see all sons of Dhritarashtra and their supporting kings with Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and also our soldiers, hurtling helplessly into your sinister mouth, your terrible teeth crushing their heads. Like rivers flow rapidly into the sea, these warriors are gushing into your flaming mouths to meet their ends. Like moths fly into the fear and get destroyed, these warriors enter your mouth to meet their destruction. You devour and lick everyone with your fiery mouth, while your brilliant rays surround and scorch the entire cosmos. Who are you? What is your purpose? I pay my obeisance to you. Please show me mercy, O Lord of Lords. I do not understand your ferocious form and actions. Sri Bhagavan said, I am time, a force that destroys everything and everyone. Whether you fight or not, everyone in war except the Pandavas will be destroyed. Therefore, stand up and fight. Kill your enemies and rule your kingdom. Your enemies are already destined to be killed by me, O Savyasachi, but you can be my instrument. Fight without any fear, because I have already killed Drona, Bhishma, Jayadra, and other stalwarts. You will win if you fight. I think we can also conclude that he also killed you. Sanjaya said, Arjuna continued to tremble in fear even after hearing the words of Kashava. With folded hands, he offered his obeisance and spoke in a faltering voice. Arjuna said, your name and glories bring cheer to the world, while striking terror in the demons who flee in fear, while the sages rightfully bow down to you. O Hrikrishkesha. And why should they not bow down to you, the only one who is greater than Brahma, the indestructible, the infinite, the abode of the universe, and that which transcends the visible and the invisible? You are the original and the supreme person, a shelter for the entire world. You are the supreme abode. You are both the knower and the knowledge. You transcend the material nature to pervade the cosmos in your infinite form. You are Vaya, Yama, Yaja, Agni, Varuna, Chandra. Every name. You're everything. Okay, you are the progenitor and the great grandfather. I pay homage to you thousands of times again and again. And again, I salute you from the front, behind, and from all sides. Your strengths are infinite. Your courage is absolute. You pervade everything, and you are everything. Forgive my ignorance and foolishness for addressing you as Krishna, Yadava, friend, as I was aware of your majestic stature. Forgive me for joking with you while playing, sitting, resting, and eating together with you, privately or publicly. O Father of all things living and non-living in the universe, O Reverend Supreme, O Spiritual Master, O Superpower, when none is equal to you in all three worlds, then how can anyone be greater than you? It's a lot of praise going on here. It's like a lot of praise. By prostrating before you, my supreme God, I beg for your mercy. Please overlook my indiscretions like a father tolerates a son's behavior, like a friend forgives a friend, or a lover forgives his beloved. I feel immense joy and disturbing fear at the same time at the sight of your cosmic form that I had never seen before. How I long to see your original pleasing form once again. Please be kind on me, O shelter of the entire world. I am eager to see you crowned, your crowned form holding a mace, disc, conch, and lotus. Oh, 1,000 armed ones. Let me see your four-armed form. Sri Bhagavad said, O Arjuna, I gave you a vision of my infinite, dazzling, fulgent form, which no one has seen before. I can be seen neither by study of the Vedas, nor by sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious deeds, nor austerities. None has seen this, O best of Kurus. Let go of the fear you feel from the terrible form and set your eyes on the form you so long to see with a peaceful heart. Sanjaya said, with those words, the kind-hearted Lord assumed his four-handed form. He consoled Arjuna further by returning to his gentle two-handed form. Seeing his friend Krishna in front of him again, Arjuna said, O Janardana, I am relieved and in good consciousness to see you back in your human likeness. Sri Bhagavan said, this current form which you love is a very rare sight, a sight even Devatas hanker to see. You have seen a form that can never be seen just by understanding the Vedas or by austerities, charities, sacrifices, and penance. None of this works when it comes to seeing me. O Arjuna, his devotion alone I can be seen directly as I stand before you. By devotion alone I can be understood and attained. O Parantapa. It's almost over. I'm just kidding. I'm grateful to read this text. O Parandava, anyone who engages in my devotional activities, free from fruitive activities, free from attachment, friendly to all, can easily come to me. Bhakti Yoga. In your opinion, who is better, a devotee who worships you, engaged in serving you, or the one who worships the impersonal form? Sri Bhagavan said, in my opinion, the devotees who worship me with steady faith, always absorbed in me, engaged in my service, he is the best yogi. Yet those who worship the impersonal form that is indestructible, unmanifest, and all-pervading, they will maintain me too. However, they will face more difficulties on their path, and their progress will be slow. For embodied beings, the path of impersonal worship is a hardship. O Partha, only those who worship me and meditate on me and exclusively surrender to me with mind and body, them I deliver quickly from the cyclic ocean of birth and death. If you fasten your mind and intelligence to me, you will undoubtedly always live with me. If you cannot fasten your mind and intelligence to me, then follow the path and principles of yoga, of devotional service, which is the right path to attain me, O Dharna Jana. If you cannot follow the path of devotion, then work for me following my instructions. Even with this, you will attain the stage of perfection. At least give up the attachment to the fruits of your actions if you cannot work for me. By such self-control and detached work, be self-realized. If that is also not possible, then acquire the knowledge of the self. Better than acquiring knowledge is the meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of fruits of action, which brings peace through realization. self-realization. Free from malice, compassion for all, equiposed in pain and pleasure, tolerant, content, determined self-control, consistent in devotional service, mind and intelligence attached to me. These are the qualities of devotees who are clear to me. He who never agitates anyone and is never disturbed by anyone, he who is unaffected by pleasure, fear, and distress, he is very dear to me. He who does not depend on the results of his actions, he who is pure, impartial, skillful, selfless, without anxieties, that devotee is very dear to me. He who neither rejoices, laments, nor desires, he who renounces the auspicious and the evil, that devotee is very dear to me. He who has equal vision for his friends and enemies, is unaffected by honor and dishonor, criticism and praise, happiness and grief, heat and cold, is always in favorable association, is silent, content, unconcerned about residence, whose intelligence is fixed in me, mind absorbed in my service. He is very dear to me. By following this path of devotional service faithfully and focusing on me is the ultimate goal, he becomes my loved devotee. This is chapter 13, Kshetra Kshetanja Vibhaga Yoga. Arjuna said, O Keshava, what is meant by Prakriti? What is meant by Parush? What is Kestra? What is Kestra Yaga? I want to know what true knowledge is and what the goal of true knowledge is. I am the knower of all. Oh, Sri Bhagavan said, O Katuya, the body, the field of action is called Kshetra. One who knows the field is the knower of field, a knower of the field of Kshetra, and the knower of all bodies. And simply knowing the body and its owner is real knowledge, in my opinion. Now, please hear me explain to you about the nature of the fields, its origin, its constitutions, the changes it goes through, the knower and its influence. This is a mixture of dandelion, gotu kola, a touch of cayenne, and the Vedic literatures, especially Brahmastra, gives detailed knowledge on the field of activity and the knower of the field with sound logical reasoning by sages. Briefly put, Kestra, or the field of activities, comprises the 5 elements of nature, ego, intellect, and the unmanifest matter. 5 senses, organs, 5 senses, objects, desire, hatred, pleasure, hate, or pain, and the aggregate, consciousness, and will. Is Santa Claus in that book? YouTube has some humorous commenters, I must say. Where do mindless people come from? To call anyone mindless, I'm not qualified to call anyone mindless. Where do mindless people come from? Likely indoctrination, where the lack of self-realization has led to an existence where indoctrination, whatever they were trained to, was the leading mental force that they became attuned to. Knowledge includes humility, modesty, nonviolence, forbearance, simplicity, serving the guru, cleanliness, persistence, self-control, abstaining from sense objects, rejecting the ego, and understanding the futility of birth, death, old age, disease, detachment from materialism, detachment from family affairs, balanced mind in the midst of desires, firm devotion to me, living in seclusion, uninterested in social affairs, prioritizing self-realization, awareness of physical truths, and anything contrasting this is ignorance. I think we just happened to stumble upon the answer to this question. Where do mindless people come from? From the world of the mindless. Knowledge includes humility, modesty, nonviolence, forbearance, simplicity, serving the guru, cleanliness, persistence, self-control, abstaining from sense objects, rejecting the ego, understanding the futility of birth, death, old age, disease, detachment from materialism, detachment from family affairs, balanced mind in the midst of the desires, firm devotion to me, living in seclusion, uninterested in social affairs, prioritizing self-realization, awareness of the philosophical truths. Anything contrasting this is ignorance. Sometimes mindlessness extends to seeking items that are gratifying outside of ourselves, and living by that can produce mindlessness because we're living for something outside of ourselves. I will now disclose to you which is to be known, that knowable knowing which you will realize eternality. The Brahman is without a beginning, beyond the cause and the effect of material nature and under my control. His hands, legs, eyes, face, ears are everywhere. He exists everywhere. He is all-pervading. He is the original source of all senses, but he himself has no senses. Though detached, he maintains all existence. Through controllers of all three modes of the material nature, he is beyond the modes. He exists inside and outside of everything, moving and non-moving. He is beyond material comprehension or recognition. He is far and also near. He is indivisible, though he appears divided in all living beings. He is the supreme creator, maintainer, and annihilator. He is the source of light for all luminaries. Beyond the darkness of ignorance, he is knowledge, the object of knowledge, and also the goal of knowledge. He lives in everyone's heart. A devotee alone understands what I have said. In the field of activity, knowledge, and object of knowledge, and he is the one who attains me. Prakriti, or the material nature, and Purusha, or living entity, both are without a beginning. All transformations in material modes arise from the material nature. Prakriti is responsible for material cause and effect. Purusha is responsible for experience of suffering and enjoyment. Purusha, in association with Prakriti, lives under the influence of the three gunas, becoming good or bad according to the gunas. Within the body is another witness, permitter, supporter, the supreme soul. It is the supreme controller and enjoyer called the supreme super soul. For liberation, only one needs to understand material nature, the individual soul and its interactions with material modes. Understanding this, one will surely be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. One can try to understand the Supreme Soul through meditation, by acquiring knowledge or by work without expectations of results. Once upon a time, I was 12 years old, and there was this collector of rare Tupac songs, and every now and then he would sell his rare Tupac songs to the community of Tupac fans. And I had once paid $200 for a copy of Tupac's song Reincarnation, in which he says, "My only fear of death is reincarnation." It is still unreleased to this day, but it is available out there. You can search it and you can find it for free on YouTube. But once upon a time, that was not available for free, and I paid $200 for it as a 12-year-old. One can try to understand the Supreme Soul through meditation, by acquiring knowledge or by work without expectations of results. Some others worship the Supreme Soul by hearing from saintly persons, although they have no spiritual knowledge, and they too transcend the cycle of birth and death. O Arjuna, the world that you see exists because of the combined interactions of the field of activities and the knower of fields. Knowing that the super soul resides beside the soul in every being, and that both are indestroyable, is truly insight. By knowing the super soul to be equally present everywhere and in everyone, the mind remains in a higher consciousness and attains the supreme goal of life. So rather than seeing people in mindless around you, try your best to see the divinity that's within them. One who is aware that activities are carried out not by the soul but by the body, born out of material nature, he truly sees. When one sees that the diversity of the living beings coming from a singular source of material nature, one maintains Brahman. O Kantuya, the Supreme Soul is transcendental and perishable and beginningless. It is neither acts nor gets entangled even in proximity with material nature. The all-pervading sky does not get contaminated by anything that it holds. That is true also for the soul, which does not mix with the body, although it pervades the body. Like the sun illuminates the entire cosmos, the soul illuminates the entire body. O Sayana Bharata, by differentiating between the field and the knower of the field, one automatically realizes how to become free from material nature and reach the supreme goal. So we're going to put that as the end for today. We're going to be going through chapter 14 to chapter 18 on the next read. This is the second reading of this. Each was an hour. You'll notice during the first reading, my voice had gotten hoarse much earlier. So I guess I'm increasing my capacity to speak at length for long periods of time. This has been Bhagavad Gita. I'm still not pronouncing this word right, and that is just evidence that this is my first orientation to the material of this book. No one has taught me about it. I've just decided to read this on my own. And in the future, we'll be reading other books, such as books on Jainism, Buddhism, including the Tibetan Book of the Dead. We'll also read the Psychedelic Book of the Dead by Timothy Leary. We'll read everything. We'll read Milton Friedman. We'll read Ron Paul. We'll read Barack Obama and Donald Trump. We'll read everything. Thank you for tuning in. This has been another episode of live reading, plus a little bit of commentary in between from, what's the name of this channel? Canine Training plus Human Development with Adonis. That's the ADONNIS. Yabba.